Well, hey guys, welcome to Vlogmas 2024, and I really need your help. I'm on a journey to 5,000 subscribers before the end of February when I go up to the expo in Boston, and I'd love for you to help me out get there. Just go down, take a second, and that would really help me out. Okay, quick blurb out of the way. Now let's talk about how you can practice when you're on the road. Let's face it, it's Christmas time, a lot of folks are going to be traveling, and if you're lucky enough, you can throw a bag in the car. Now it might not even be your full bag, but at least you've got some discs you can play with. But chances are you're not going to be able to have your full practice gear with you, a practice basket, etc. But you can still practice wherever you go if you've got just a little space. And we're going to talk all about it right after the intro. Okay, now I realize I'm saying all this and I'm standing in a farm with my son. We're up here, he's trying to do some hunting, and so I've got a lot of space around me. So you're probably not gonna have this much space to work with, but hopefully you can have a park or a backyard or something nearby where you can throw. And it doesn't even have to be the full meal deal of you don't need 400 feet of space. As a matter of fact, for this practice thing, what I'm gonna recommend is you only need the space to throw your shortest disc. And so that's my berg for this. And what you're going to want to do, this is a practice drill to work on your touch and to get to know your disc. And so you simply take your very shortest disc, for me it's the berg, and you set it as your target disc. Okay, so now I'm just going to throw it up the hill there. And wherever it lands, perfect. It landed just behind a little hill, so I can't see where it is, but I know basically where it is. And that becomes your target for all the rest of your discs. And what this is going to do is it's going to help you start to regulate the different discs in your bag, because obviously you're going to have to take a little power off of every other disc besides your shortest disc, and you're going to have to work on nose angle control to get the disc to do what you want it to do. So now we take the rest of our discs and we try to follow that shot up. This is my MVP range. A little bit to the right. And now the bag I have with me is all remix besides the berg and the range, because I needed those just for putting. I really rely on those for a lot of shots. And as much as I like the Eldritch and the detonator, I was struggling with them putting. And let's face it, putting's pretty big. So I carry those along when I need to have a berg or a range. But other than that, the entire bag that I have right now is a remix bag, just because I'm having fun with it. I'm learning new discs. I'm keeping things a little bit spicy because sometimes you can get used to throwing the same old stuff and it gets a little boring. So yeah, I've got some great discs to play around with, and it's a little more enjoyable. I don't know if that makes sense. Enjoyable might not be the right word, but it's keeping me learning, and we always want to be a learner. Okay, so now I've got the Eldritch putter. And let's face it, the putters are all going to be about the same, so I'm just kind of dialing in those throws. Oh, that was horrible. I was about to say, the great thing is because of that hill, they're hiding my shots. So after I throw them, I can edit, walk up there, move on my disc closer, and it looks like I really was good in my practicing. But I'm not going to do that. Just in my head, I already started thinking, ooh, how I got, you know, we're all a little messed up in the head. So now I just start working through the rest of my bag. So Torpedo is basically a Mustang. It's a mid-range. And so I got to take a little bit off and throw it. But here's the thing that I have to learn is the disc is not going to fly exactly the same when I start powering down as when I throw it full power. And that's a good thing. What we're doing is every time we practice, every time we throw, we're adding knowledge to our encyclopedia of disc throwing. Especially we're learning how the disc does at not only full speed, but slower speeds. Easy for you to say, Pete. And so I think sometimes the best thing we can do is practice less than full power shots, because we have to regulate the control, the angle, we have to be more precise. For instance, this Ronin is an 8-speed. So I either have to throw it softer, little nose up, let it float up, or I could crash it in. Now let's face it, the hyzer crash in is kind of the easiest. not cheater throw, but it's the one that we can do almost with our eyes closed because we're throwing that all the time. So what I want to try to do is with these, I want to try to maneuver them up there with a harder shot because I want to work on nose angle. So what I want to do is try to flip this out here and then let it dive back. Yep, actually just a little short. There's a breeze coming in. So now the Spartan is a flippy disc like my Valkyrie, but here's the thing is I'm not going to put it on full power. It's going to be maybe even half power, if that. And so it's not going to want to flip up as much. So this is going to act stable. So I've got to keep that in mind. This is where the learning process comes in. See, no flip up, it just kind of went a little and then back. Now, the Goliath, same thing. I know that I'm not going to engage as much of the flip over. It doesn't have a lot. But so I'm going to try to S-curve this one. So it goes up and then it just dies and drops down, almost landing on top of the other putter. And so that's what you go through your whole bag and you just try to see if you can get each disc and manipulate it the way you want from this distance. Because let's face it, the putter, we're probably about 150, it's a little uphill, we could maybe 200. But if we can get all our discs to where we are just deadly with them within 200 feet, how important, how crucial is that going to be for our game? Because we're going to have the confidence to be able to regulate and use whatever disc we need 200 feet and in. We won't just have to rely on always the Berg, always the pig, always the fill in the blank. We can manipulate any disc to kind of do what we need it to do. And that's why I love this practice. It doesn't require anything besides your bag and about 200 feet of openness. And really not that much. I mean, you just need a pretty decent backyard, but you can go to a park or something like that. You don't have to go to the course just to practice. I hope that encourages you. I hope that gives you an idea of, hey, I could do that right now. The family's driving me crazy. Let me run across the street and throw a few discs. I mean, you do this once or twice, it's 10, 15 minutes, and you're building that in. You do that a couple times while you're off on the road where you didn't think you were going to get any practice in, and you're going to feel so much more confident when you come back to play league or glow or whatever because you've got the touchdown. So anyway, there you go. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for being with me. Once again, please subscribe if you haven't. Let's go on this journey together. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you out on the course.